the DC animated universe has really gone downhill ever since they implemented this whole Tomorrowverse nonsense that they've been doing. The animation style doesn't look good, in my opinion. The stories are just poorly done. They just don't care. They're just putting out rubbish. The last movie that they had in this Tomorrowverse animated movie run was Legion of Superheroes, which was basically Supergirl's weird high school drama filled crap. So at the end of that, Batman and Superman got taken by some beam of light. It was like the Zeta beam or something. So it was this movie, the movie that I have was supposed to be called Justice League Warworld. So you were expecting them to be on Warworld actually doing some stuff, because when you think about Warworld, you know, Warworld is a giant planet that is basically a giant weapon. It's a planet-sized weapon. And Mongol is the one who runs it, and he has it like a gladiatorial thing where people battle and fight to the death for the amusement of everybody else. So you're thinking, you know, maybe you're going to get that, and maybe they had to struggle and save the planet or something like that. You're thinking, okay, well, maybe you'll get something like that. Oh God, you didn't get anything like that at all. We'll go through this movie piece by piece and tell you exactly what the hell they didn't do right. The movie starts off with Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, as some kind of cowgirl. She's slowly riding into this town that has it's a bunch of people with guns and stuff all over the place watching her and all kind of thing. She goes into a bar, gets into a fight with this guy, and then as the man pulls a gun and looks to shoot her in the back, Jonah Hex stops him. Turns out Jonah Hex is a son of a bitch in this iteration. He and his goons are trying to stop some townspeople who had some gold and they wanted to keep it from them and all kind of stuff. It doesn't take long before Diana is pretty much on the other town people's side, because Jonah Hex's men shoot two people dead and then try to murder this little girl. So next thing you know, Diana is riding out there, giving people headshots with guns, blocking bullets, all kind of stuff. I mean, some of the action is pretty brutal, but it doesn't really feel authentic or even kind of interesting at all. So she is there, but you know, you kind of get to realize that she doesn't seem to have any memory of who she is or how she ended up there or whatever. So when she goes, when she and this guy who wants to help out and stuff decide to sneak into the town to get some supplies for the people who are hiding out there, she goes to see Jonah Hex, uses her lasso of truth, because yes, she has the lasso of truth and she's using it. She doesn't know what it's for anymore. She's using the lasso of truth, and she uses it on him and finds out that he and his men robbed some train and they pack it with explosives, and they're going to run the train right into the townspeople and blow them straight to hell. So she knocks him out and decides she's going to stop the train. So she tells everybody to get out from there. She tells the guy to go and tell all the townspeople to get out from there. So she goes onto the train, knocks out the Jonah Hex's men, throws the conductor overboard, and then she does a pretty cool part where she literally picks up the train tracks and then moves it in a different direction, so the train passes over her and crashes into where Jonah Hex and his men are and blow up the whole place. You know, either killing most of them or the ones of them who weren't destroyed and end up having to leave. When that's done now and she emerges unscathed, basically, the same guy who was helping out asks her if she wants to stay. Before she could take his hand, Jonah Hex shoots him in the back. She then blocks all of Jonah Hex's bullets and then starts beating him into a bloody mess with literally like an inch of his life, and that's it. Then she leaves. What exactly does this whole thing with her being a cowgirl do anything for? Not a damn thing. Nothing. After that's done now, we go to the next part, where apparently Batman is now in some kind of weird Conan-like setting stories sort of thing. He's some kind of mercenary on some world. I think it's called Sakar or something like that. And you only know it's Batman because he has on a helmet that looks like a bat, because apparently that's essential to everything. Because, he can't just be anybody at all. He has to make sure that everybody knows he's Batman for some freaking reason. Scataris is the world's, yes, Scataris, right, yes. So he goes to fight some warlord there, because apparently Batman is a mercenary, was employed by some evil sorcerer called Demos or something like that, some kind of demon shit. So, yeah. And Batman loses the fight, and rather than end up getting used as a slave, he ends up telling him that he could lead the warlord and his men to Demos's castle and get them in, and they could get their revenge on him. Not forgetting though that he wants to be paid because he's a mercenary, whatever. Go through this whole thing where they're traveling across the land, and then these different monsters showing up and eating the warlords people, and then one by one and all of this nonsense. So they even go to this, they even go there. When they do eventually make it to his castle and stuff, Batman see some kind of power relay cord thing and goes in. So they go into the stuff there. Batman ends up betraying the warlord. He goes into the throne room with a bunch of gold and stuff and meets the warlords. The woman who was with the warlord is there. And also Wonder Woman is there too. And she kind of looks like some Conan kind of damsel, kind of warrior woman kind of stuff again. What is she doing there? She doesn't know. She doesn't remember. Whatever. So then the sorcerer shows up. He has a gun for some reason, and he's shooting at stuff. When he runs out of bullets, and then they decide to try and kill him, he turns into a giant snake. Why do they always turn into a giant snake? I don't know, but apparently that's some kind of weird evil shit that all of these people do. They turn into a giant snake. They go around fighting again one another. Then the warlord picks up the gun and shoots the snake in his head, because apparently since swords and axes were just breaking on his scales, yes, a bullet would obviously be more effective. Okay. And they do go now. Batman and Wonder Woman decide that they have to go through some portal and go somewhere. Okay, fine. They go through there. And we get to the third sighting now. The third story now. It's basically instead of some kind of 60s period black and white thing where Clark Kent is an FBI agent, and he joins Agent Faraday, and they've come to investigate the case of a UFO crashing in some small town of Grover's Mill, and some suspicious activity that's going on in the area, some footprints and all kind of stuff and whatnot. So when they go there now, he meets Highway Patrol Officer Bruce Wayne, and they're like, do I know you and all this and that. They go into the diner, and everybody in the diner is talking about how the aliens this and the aliens and all kind of drama. Then he meets Diana Prince, who's also there, and then Ken starts to hear some weird music and all sort of stuff, and then Diana and Bruce talk to him, and they tell him that they hear the music too, and before everything goes to hell, everybody in the diner turns out to be aliens except for Faraday. They start chasing them. They jump into Diana Prince has to try to beat the crap out of them. Clark realizes he has super strength. Bruce gets a car. They jump in. They're driving away, talking back and forth and all kind of stuff. When they eventually end up making it to the alien mothership they go in, and they find some creature inside of it, and that they're assuming is the alien overlord or master or something like that. Agent Faraday shows up and tells Clark he needs to kill the alien and the other two, because they may all be aliens, and look at that one day, and they did something to him and all this. So there's this kind of moment where Clark says, that He's not going to do that. That's not the truth, justice, and the American way. Try to play off on that. Okay, that didn't happen. No, all of that thing with it, and then they end up revealing that the alien that's on this chair is actually John Jones, and everything that they were seeing is some kind of illusion. Ends up telling them that, they're on Warworld, right? And that Warworld uses telepathic powers to enslave people by their hatred and fears, and it gets all the negative emotions to create alternate worlds where one can be trapped for eternity. And John Jones was inside of there, and then he sought out their minds, and he built a backdoor into the system and tried to contact them and get them there. What in God's name does any of this have to do with anything? I don't know. This movie wasted an entire hour and change telling 3 stories that nobody gives a shit about. You didn't build up these characters into any way, shape, or form whatsoever. The last time we saw Batman and Superman was in the Legion of Superheroes movie with Supergirl. That was it. The last time we saw Wonder Woman was in Justice Society World War II. How exactly did they meet up? Is this Wonder Woman some new... And let's not forget, that Wonder Woman was from Earth 2. So is this Wonder Woman from this Earth? We don't know. They didn't set up anything like that. You didn't have any kind of introductory story with them at all. You just threw all this crap together and then act like it's supposed to be okay. So while they're in there talking, wasting time, because apparently that's fine. You understand me? The door blasts open. Lobo shows up for some unknown reason. Why is he there? I don't know. No explanation about nothing whatsoever. He shoots all of them and leaves Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman there somewhere. He goes off with John Jones. Right. We then get to find out now when they when Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman wake up that this Warworld is some kind of weird ripoff of Westworld, where instead of robots, everybody who they met in these so-called dream, I don't know if it's a kind of telepathic created world or something like that. All of these people are clones. They're just constantly cloned. Every time that they die, another clone just comes out, dressed up the same way, and sent back in to repeat the same story. Exactly like Westworld. The only difference that Westworld is robots. This world is just clones in it. Constantly. These people are just being manufactured to play out some game. Why? We don't know. Who is it being played out for? Is there an audience to watch? We don't see anything about Warworld whatsoever at all. Just little bits and pieces. That's it. So when Lobo does deliver Martian Manhunter to the one who's running Warworld, it turns out to be some weird new version of Mongol that they've created. Not the interesting one before, a weird new version of a Mongol, who apparently has diarrhea of the mouth and is once again some freaking lunatic talking about how something called to him beyond the stars, and then he found Warworld, and after all the destruction that he's done, it still won't reveal secrets. I mean, you're like, what the shit are you even talking about? None of this makes any sense. Why are you doing this? What the hell is going on? Nothing is explained. So eventually Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman find their costumes. They put it on. When Superman puts on his own, Wonder Woman says to him, "Oh, Clark, it's you." And then we get to find out she is the Wonder Woman from Earth 2. How did she end up there? We don't know, because apparently this Warworld kidnaps people from different dimensions. How does that work? Nothing is explained. Absolutely nothing is explained. They just keep putting this shit out there and acting like you're supposed to be okay with it without actually explaining a damn thing. So apparently, Mongol wants to get some key to unlock the full power of Warworld, and it has something to do with John Jones because he's a Green Martian, and apparently Mongol has searched across 100 different realities, and this is the first green Martian he's found. That makes no freaking sense at all. Right? None. He's found a bunch of other white Martians that he has there, but he hasn't found any actual green Martian, which again makes no freaking sense. What do all the green Martians just off themselves whenever they see you coming? Come on. And exactly what does the key to Warworld have to do with John Jones? We don't freaking know. So anyway, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman decided that they're going to go and save John Jones. So they start destroying stuff in Warworld, and then Lobo starts to talk about how he is going to betray Mongol, and he's been setting it up all this time, only to find out John Jones was the one who planted that thought in his mind. What does any of this have to do with anything? I don't know. So Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman break in, start beating up stuff, start destroying things. The action is not good. It does not translate well. It doesn't look very interesting. It's just bland. Same thing as the story. The story goes no. It doesn't seem to understand what it's trying to do at all. So anyway, John Jones then starts to mind control one of the white Martians that Mongol has there, and then he reveals to Mongol and everybody that the key to Warworld is hidden within the DNA of the green and white Martians. How the shit does that make any sense? I don't know. Who built the Warworld? Why is it connected to you? What do you have to do with anything? Nothing is freaking explained. But what happens then? John Jones merges with the white Martian, and then their hand turn into the key, they plug into the Warworld, and they set the self-destruct sequence. Mongol is there about you would have enough power to do it. So they suck up his negative energy to feed the Warworld's self-destruct. As it's about to go off, some strange being shows up, some female woman shows up with some kind of flaming hair, shows up and transports Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman off of Warworld, and they watch it explode. She then tells them that, only a few lives have been lost here, but you must prepare yourself for the crisis that is coming. So apparently, you're trying to set up for Crisis on Infinite Earths or something, and you're like, how is anybody supposed to care after this movie? This movie did nothing. You saw nothing about Warworld itself. Mongol was an absolute and utter freaking joke. Why was Lobo there? I still don't freaking know. Why was John Jones there? I still don't freaking know. How exactly is the green and white Martians combined the key to Warworld? What do they have anything to do with Warworld at all? I don't know. Why did you waste over an hour telling 3 stupid stories about Wonder Woman as a cowgirl, Batman as Conan, and Superman as some kind of black and white style FBI agent? It makes no shitting sense. This movie was just absolutely and utterly a waste of time. It did nothing here to make you interested in anything whatsoever. They wasted the entire time setting up this shit just to fail miserably. Oh Lord, it's one thing to not be able to put together a decent movie, another thing to just fail consistently. The last movie was garbage. This one made no sense. You did not settle anything. You didn't set up any kind of story. You didn't build on anything. How do these three just randomly falling together? I don't know. But you just somehow did it. There's even this part where before Superman and Wonder Woman push open this door, Batman just throws his batarang apparently through the door or something and knocks out the white Martians inside of it. How does that make any sense? This is the crap that you were getting with this movie. Look, my final rating for this movie, I will give Justice League Warworld a 1 out of 5. You have absolutely no reason to watch this movie because it does nothing for anything. It's just more garbage. That's it. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, try to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell and notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.